Can we start, ma'am? Modak ma'am.
Sangeeta ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, ready.
Okay, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Nikhade sir.
Sir. Okay, sir. A good morning to one and all. I am Mr. Mukesh D. Nikhade, Assistant Professor in Physics, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli. I warm welcome everyone on behalf of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli in first session of 6-day, 1-week national level workshop on research methodology. I heartily welcome our chief guest and resource person, Dr. Sangeeta Itenkar Madam. I would like to welcome Dr. A. Chandramouli Sir, Principal Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli. I also welcome organizing committee member for organizing this workshop. I welcome all dear students, research scholars, dignitaries present for this workshop. It's my pleasure to introduce today's chief guest, Dr. Sangeeta Itankar Madam, Assistant Professor in Physics, Sarodaya College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. Dr. Sangeeta Itankar Madam, presently recognized as Research Supervisor in RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. Dr. Sangeeta Itankar Madam, awarded by doctoral degree in physics on photoluminescence properties of electrostone Eu3+ ion doped polymer nanofibers. She has been awarded by 10 years of Trust Award by the NRDRF Sarodaya College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. She has presented paper in the second international conference in Taipei, Taiwan in 2019. He has published 15+ research papers and attend 13 national and international conferences. She will also attend 12 workshops. She has been resource person for various webinars and workshops and delivered guest lecture organized by various colleges. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sangeeta Itankar Madam to address the conference on research ethics. Dr. Sangeeta Itankar Madam.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is not clear. Some noises are there.
Good morning, ma'am. Voice not clear. Voice is not clear, ma'am.
Itankar ma'am, can you hear me?
Okay. Now is it okay?
Ma'am, some other devices are there. That's why some noise is there. Ma'am, if possible, try to connect with your Bluetooth headphone.
Okay. I think is it clearly visible, clearly audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's okay.
So I think now visibility and audibility is clear to all.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible, but volume is very low.
Can I start now?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. So the topic allocated me to in this workshop of research methodology was research ethic. And I hope I will do the justice with this topic. So before starting this session, I just like to congratulate the management team and the principal of the college, Dr. Chandramouli sir, and the convener of this workshop, Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh and Dr. Prerna Modak, and the organizing committee for organizing this workshop on such an important topic, that is a research methodology. And as a faculty, we know that how much research is important. And no matter what, in what career field we are or how high up you are, there is always more to learn. No matter how many experiences you have or how diverse your social circle, there is something, or there are so many things we don't know. So we can say that research unknowns the unlock. So in this workshop, I think so many eminent speakers had gone through the topic which comes under this research methodology, like how to write research proposals, how to start new research work, what are the essential e-skills for research, what are the tools and techniques in research, how to do literature survey, literature review, data collection, and many more topics, which was covered under this workshop. And I must sure that this workshop will really very helpful for all the students or all the faculty members or all the researchers who is attending this. So in this presentation, I'm basically going to talk about the philosophical orientation of ethics. What are ethics? What are the research ethics? Why these ethics are very important for us? So begin with this thought. Let us discuss about some basic ideas about the concept of ethics, how it was originated, and how we can ensure ethics while doing or guiding or facilitating the research work. So if you see the logical meaning of this uh, ethics, it is originated from a Greek word which is called as ethos, which means habit, character, customs, or the way of behavior. How we behave, as well as whether the behavior is good or bad, whether it is acceptable or not. Sometimes ethics are also known as moral philosophy. It was related with our moral or morality. So when most people think ethics are morals, then they think set of rules for distinguish between right and wrong. This is the most common way of defining ethics. Like norms for the conduction to distinguish that between the acceptable and the unacceptable behavior. So we can uh, correlate this ethics with the morality. Okay. Then all the researchers, students have a responsibility to conduct ethical research. Participants in research should know and understand their rights and responsibility. Ethical considerations are the part of the design of the research product. So, ethics is the study of values and guidelines by which we live, which we follow as a citizen of our country, as a part of community. So, being as a researcher, whatever we do, whether we select a sample or whether we do literature review, whether we take some content, some designs from somewhere else, or be placing it with morality. Whatever we are doing, we have to follow the ethics. So when we talk about ethics, we talk about taking decision, what is good or what is bad for us. Or in simple words, we can say ethics refers to what is good and the way to get it. What is good and how we get it. What is the way to get it? And if it is bad, then how to avoid it. It refers to what ought to be done to achieve what is good and what ought not to be done to avoid that is evil. So we must be differentiate between the good or the bad. We always write the good things because these are our morals, these are our values which we are going to study or which we learn from our childhood. So in simple way, we can say to choose what is good or what is bad. That is nothing but related with our ethics. But when we talk about in research ethics, so there are some core ethic principles of scientific research. Some core ethic principles are defined by the scientific research, and they are truth, freedom, responsibility, integrity, collaboration, and professionalism. So if we talk about truth, then we can say that in research, how truly we are conducting or experimenting while selecting our sample or subject. How truly we have communicated with our subject. What we are going to do. There are so many things, so many such incidents are there where researchers have never exposed the truth of the subject, whether the data which he or she is collecting or reporting it properly, and we are manipulating it. So truth is the core ethical principle of research. Whatever we are doing in research, we have to take it truly. We don't have to manipulate, we don't have to fabricate the data. So if this truth is the core ethic principle of this scientific research, second one is the freedom. As a researcher should have or should be allowed to do experiment freely. The freedom is very much important while performing the research work. If we clip or if we put some boundaries around the researcher, then researcher may not be able to do what he or she want to do. So the freedom to do the work within the allowed limitations or within the approved structure is again the core ethic principle of the research. So freedom is again also important to do whatever the experiment is want to perform by the researcher so that it can do freely. Third one is the responsibility. Researcher is completely responsible for what he or she is doing, what he is reporting or experimenting. So researcher need to take the responsibility of his or her own work. Whatever he or she is doing, only he or she is responsible for our own work. Then integrity is the key. Your professionalism, your personal integrity, your integrity as a researcher, it is very important or very essential. Next is the collaboration. So when a researcher performs a research work, then in most of the research, we used to take help from different people. They may be our lab assistant, research associates. So research is not only a job which can be always done by a single person. It is very difficult to perform a research without taking any help, because not a single person is 100%, we can say, can do anything. He needs someone's help to perform something. Like suppose if the researcher is doing analysis of research work, then he require help of many people, because everyone is not expert in each and every area. We can be a good experimenter, good scientist. So the experiment and data collection we can do, but analysis we cannot do. You may require some collaboration sometimes. You can be a good planner, you have some good ideas with you, but we cannot be a good tool maker. Technically we are not sound, so we must require someone else to develop a tool, to collect the data, or for designing the structure or anything else. So there are many people who are involved in this scientific research. So it is the responsibility of the researcher to acknowledge their contribution truthfully. So that is nothing but the collaboration. So however he take help from someone, then he have to give the contribution, he have to give the acknowledgement of that particular person in their research work. Last one is the professionalism. In whatever profession we are, we may be a scientist, as an engineer, as a social scientist, as a psychologist, we may be educationist. There are various domains in which we are doing research. So almost in every discipline, research is going on, and research should be a true professional activity. There are no personal bias, no favorism, no choice, no pressure on funding the agencies. So you should be a true professionalism. So whenever we talk about the research or ethic principles, then we must have to follow these core ethic principles. If we follow these principles, then truly we can perform our research work in a very good manner. Then, uh, uh, if we are talking about the research ethics, so we have seen the core ethic principles, but these are again some key principles of research ethics. These are come under some common general ethics. So these are the core. This should must we have to follow. But these are again some ethic principles. We can say the general principles of research ethics, like honesty, privacy, values, moral principle, confidentiality. So this ethic principles in research includes honesty. Honestly, we have to report the data, results, methods, procedure, whatever we are going to search, and we should not fabricate, falsify, or mispresent the data. We have to honest about our research work. There should be objectivity in our research, integrity, whatever the promises and agreements we are uh, giving to someone, then we have to that fulfill. We have to act with sincerity, carefulness, avoid careless errors and negligence. We have to avoid errors and negligence, carefully and critically examine our work, because this could keep records of research activities, will definitely improve our research work. And it is a lifelong, we can say it is a lifelong research which we kept with us. So avoid discrimination against colleagues or students on the basis of sex, race, ethnicity, or other factors that are not related to scientific competence and integrity. So don't discriminate to others. Then transparency is again very much important, because whatever we are doing, we have to keep the transparency in our work. Disclose methods, materials, assumptions, analysis, and other information of what you did on your research project. Then intellectual property, honor the patents, copyrights, and other forms of intellectual property. Do not use unpublished data, methods, results without permission. If we are using someone's work, then give the acknowledgement and credit to the contribution to research. So this intellectual property is again very much important ethics in this research methodology. Confidentiality is again important. Then legality, know and obey relevant laws and institutional and government policies. So these are the general ethics which everyone must have to follow in during their research work. Then what are the research misconducts? We can say there are research misconducts like fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. To explain this term, here I want to give one example in my college life. So whenever in our college, um, when we are doing the experiments in a physics lab, then we are not getting the proper graph or proper observations or proper readings during the experiment. But one batch is there, they got very good results. They are having very good nature of the graph as per the requirement. So when I asked them how you got such good observations and good graph, then they told me ki what they are doing, they were doing the they draw first the graph according to the nature of the experiment, and then they take the readings from that graph. So which was very wrong. We should not follow such uh, wrong observation method or the wrong experimentation methods. So that is nothing but the concept which comes under fabrication and falsification. So fabrication is making up data or the result and reporting them. Never fabricate. Whatever the original data you are getting, you have to explore whatever the results or whatever the observations you are getting. Find out the reasons. What are the find out the reasons why we are getting such results. Then second one is the falsification, manipulating research materials, changing or omitting data results such that the result is not accurately represented in your research record. Some students do falsification in their research work. They just manipulate the data. If they are not getting the right observations, they just manipulate. So again, it was against the research misconduct. So again, this we have to avoid during our research work. The next is the plagiarism. What is plagiarism? So the appropriation of another person's idea, process, results, or words without giving appropriate credit. If we are using someone's idea, someone's words, someone's text, then we have to give credit about his or her work. We have to acknowledge. But if someone is not doing that, then it comes under plagiarism. So these are some research misconducts. So as a researcher, we should never fabricate, never falsify, and never mispresent the data. Don't deceive the colleagues, research sponsors, or the public. If we follow this, then we will sure to maintain the honesty in our research. Then come to the topic, which is very sensitive topic, that is called as plagiarism in research. So in academic, as a researcher, research supervisor, and as a student, whenever we think about ethics, one term always comes in our mind, that is the plagiarism. As we know that there are lots of concern, lots of issues associated with this term, and many more try to define it in their own way because there is no particular universal definition about it. So there is one misconception between the plagiarism and the copyright. The biggest misconception between the plagiarism and copyright is that they are just similar. Students get confused between plagiarism and copyright. They are thinking both are the same words, both are the same terms. But if we observe it carefully, then we can see that plagiarism is when you don't say you took it from. Plagiarism is when we hide someone else's work, and when we took it someone else's work and we are not preferring, that is called as the plagiarism, and it is related with our moral aspect. And copyright is when you take it without permission. We are using someone's data, but without his or her permission, without the permission of researcher. So that is called as the legal aspect. So both are looking like similar terms, but both are different. This copyright is again a very vast topic, which we can say we can study under the topic which is called as intellectual property rights or IPRs. So in that we can or you can study what are copyrights, patents, trademarks, and so on. So this is the different aspect. So in this lecture we are going to see what is copyright. So to explain what is plagiarism, here one slide I have included in this presentation in the form of cartoon image. Again, it is I got this image from the internet. In this, here the student is complaining to his father about the teacher that he gave a remark F on his report. She accused me for plagiarizing of the internet. Then father said, how wrong it is. I will get her fired. I stole the same report from long year ago from the magazine of National Geographic magazine, and at that time I got A on it. So what conclusion you can draw from this cartoon or the clip? That plagiarism is not a new concept. People are plagiarizing since long ago. Sometimes they are doing intentionally, or sometimes they are aware about it that they are doing the plagiarism, and later they come to know that they got into the net of the plagiarism. So again, one short story I want to tell you in this regard. One student or one researcher was doing his project, and he has consulted so many books. He has referred so many books for doing his data analysis or for designing or for theory purpose. And when he was going through those books, then he was found that when he was browsing the books, then he found that the books written by the authors have lot of stuffs in it which has been simply lifted from the other books. Whatever he is going to study in particular book, then he found that lots of same text or lots of stuff was there in that book which was taken from the books which was already published. So then he talked to the director. Then director framed a committee regarding this matter, and that committee found that the author of the book copied the same content without acknowledging. And then, am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then the committee found that the authors of the books copied some content, and he never giving reference, or he has never given the citation or acknowledgement about that text. Then some criticism to this author. So there is not a single case, there are lots of cases regarding this plagiarism. If we study about this plagiarism, then we found that there are so many cases in terms of entertainment also. When we are talking about the film industry, and so many stories are taken from the I think there was lot of echo. Someone has unmute their mic.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry for the interruption. I'll let people know to mute themselves.
Okay. So, what is the plagiarism? One interesting quote I have found that if you steal from one author, it's plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's research. Is it correct? If you steal from one author, it comes under plagiarism, and if you steal from many, then it comes under research. But it is not true. It is just a wrong concept. Then again, this concept was redefined and it is written like that. If you steal from one author, then it's plagiarism. And if you refer to many, then it comes under research. Okay, if we refer from the whatever we have given the material, if we refer, then it comes under research. So that is the interesting definition regarding this plagiarism. Again, some well-defined plagiarism definitions are, according to University of Essex, plagiarism is using or copying the work of others without proper acknowledgement in any coursework. If you read the English Oxford Dictionary, and if you find the meaning of the plagiarism, then it is to take and use as one's own thought, writing or invention of other person. So if we are taking anything from other persons, whether their thoughts, their writing, their research articles, figures, and if we are not acknowledging them and we are representing it as our own work, then we can say that we are doing a plagiarism. Then again, some more definitions regarding plagiarisms are there. If we analyze all the definitions, then we can enlist certain common characteristics of the term, like plagiarism. So plagiarism means copying or paraphrasing others person word without proper acknowledgement. If we are adopting someone's idea or data without giving credit, without citing the source, again this is called as plagiarism. So there are lots of definition. Everyone defined the definition of this plagiarism as per their own understanding. So there are so many definitions. There is no particular universal definition regarding this plagiarism, but the concept or the meaning of all the definitions we must understood very well, that we have never used others' work as it is, and whenever we are using their work, we have to give citations. So one must understand that plagiarism is unethical, unprofessional practice, and it is a kind of academic cheating. It is an academic cheating, and this cheating is in our research work we are doing, and this cheating is similar to like a theft. Someone is if someone is in a store market or in a supermarket, and someone is what we can say uh, stealing something. If someone is stealing something in that supermarket, then that is nothing but the theft. So if we are taking someone's data from some research papers and we are not acknowledging it, then we can say it is a academic cheating. Both are the same thing. So we must aware this cheating. So again, there is some reflection regarding this research work, what the readers see and what it means to the readers. When we refer any paper and when we see citation is given there and quotation marks are there, then we can say the passage is someone else and information in that is in the person's exact word. So citation is there and quotation marks are there. Then what it means to the reader? the reader will understand that the passage is someone else and the words was the another person's which was included in their research paper. If citation is there and no quotation mark, what is the meaning of that? The passage is someone else and information expressed in your own words. कहीं से passage लिया है और उसको अपने words में explain किया है. So that is the meaning of citation, but no quotation mark. If no citation and no quotation mark is there, then we can say that passage is our own idea and information expressed in our own words. Means we can say that is our own personal data. This indicates that no citation and no quotation marks. So we must be careful whether we have to quote, whether we have to give citation and all that, which reflect our research paper. Then how does it matter if we are giving citation, if we are not giving citation, if we are giving quotation marks or not? Then how does it matter? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? What happens if we are taking someone text, if we are taking someone figures, idea, and we are representing it as our own work? What happens? Is there any effect to the publisher or to that researcher? Yes, it definitely matters. So how does it matter? So, as we know that plagiarism is considered as a breach of academic integrity. So, as a honest intellectual or as a honest academician, one has to acknowledge his or her debt to the originator of the idea, word or data. Suppose I am writing a research paper and I am using someone else's idea, definition, concept, or even if I am delivering a lecture, if I am giving or using someone else's word, paragraph, we need to acknowledge them from where we have taken. You may give your own explanation in your own words, but it doesn't means that your explanation is original and your concept is original. We know that concept is someone else and you are representing by your own. So again it comes under plagiarism. So what is the effect on that researcher? What is the effect of that? So passing off another works as your own work is not only a poor scholarship, but also it means that you have failed to complete the learning process. You are not a good academician. Plagiarism is unethical and can have consequences for your future career also. It also undermines the standard of your institution and the degree of your issues. So, this happens to the plagiarist. You may do plagiarism today, but your publication will remain in the public domain for years. And maybe after 10 years, 20 years, someone will come and ask you what you have done. So it's a very serious concern. It's a very serious concept. And as a researcher, supervisor, or as a student, we all should aware of it. Otherwise, there are lots of consequences in future if we are doing plagiarism today, but we are having some consequences in future. So whenever we are doing plagiarism, then we have to keep such things in our mind. Then what is not plagiarism? We are talking about everything is plagiarism, 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 but what is not plagiarism? So ऐसा क्या करेंगे जो प्लेगरिज्म नहीं है? ऐसा हम क्या करें पेपर में कि हमारा पेपर प्लेगराइज्ड ना हो? So there are some common knowledge, national holidays, famous heroes, some natural phenomenon, subject common knowledge. If we use this knowledge, if we use this data, then it comes not under plagiarism. Whatever is there in the book, everything we need to be cited. Whenever I am not citing something, it is not coming under plagiarism. So it is not also, it is again very important to know what is that not plagiarism. So if something we have quoted 100 times without any particular reference, citation, that becomes the part of knowledge. अगर हम बार बार एक ही concept use कर रहे हैं हर जगह without reference it was given that, then we can say that it's a common knowledge and there is no need to give citation. Like for example, the sun rises in the east, so we never quote who said it. This is the general information and most of the people know it. I think most of the people, everyone know that the sun rises in the west. So when we talk about the general information, then it doesn't come. If we are using general information in our research paper, then it was not plagiarized. Again, we can say the example that water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, it is a general knowledge, names of famous heroes, national holidays, dates. That is not plagiarism. If there is something which we use in our particular field of knowledge, which has been shared, then again it doesn't come under plagiarism. Some natural phenomenon, suppose if we are talking about the diffraction of X-ray, then we can say that we will use that Bragg's law, 2d sin theta is equals to n lambda. Then there is no need to define lambda. Who has defined symbol of lambda? So these are the some common subject knowledge, and we are not need to give the citation of that topic or that content. Again, we can say in this pandemic, everyone knows about the origin of the coronavirus, what are the symptoms, then so many information regarding this coronavirus. So we can say this is the general information. If we are using if we are using this data, then we can say it is not comes under this plagiarism. So there are so many types of plagiarism. Everyone has defined the types of different types of plagiarism. So these are some common types of plagiarism which we can observe in the research papers. I'm just going to tell you about the common types of this plagiarism. When we talk about the global plagiarism, here the meaning of global plagiarism is given, that is plagiarizing an entire text by someone else. So researcher has taken the entire text from someone else and placing it his or her paper as it is, then we can say it is a global plagiarism. Then verbatim plagiarism is directly copying someone else's word. Some text was some words was directly copy paste in their in their paper, then we can say it is a type of verbatim plagiarism. Then paraphrasing plagiarism means taking someone else's idea or paragraph and writing it in your own words, but again not giving citation or reference. So it comes under paraphrasing plagiarism, or it is also called as rephrasing. Someone phrase was rephrased by his or her own idea. Then patchwork plagiarism, plagiarizing part of different sources and stitching them together into a new work, that is called as patchwork. Means some data was collected from here and there and it was put together as a own data. So it comes under this patchwork plagiarism. And last is the self plagiarism, recycling your own previous work. So representing or recycling your own previous work which has already been published, but you are taking as it is or some part of the paper for new publication, then you are nowhere representing or nowhere quoting from where you have taken, because you think that it is our own work and no need to give citation. So but that also has to be cited because it is a part of your own your old published work. So these are some common types of plagiarism and everyone must aware about these types. So don't do this global plagiarism, verbatim plagiarism, paraphrasing, patchwork or self plagiarism. Then again again one thing I want to mention here, that 404 error. Whenever we search some citation, when we search some references, then some errors occurs in that on that internet. So why this error occurs if we are searching something? Or it shows when we cite a particular reference, it means a person create a document or copying from various sources and prepare a single document. The researcher here, it has prepared his own document and he give citation also, but that citation was not correct. He used fake name of fake author, name of fake journal, name of fake issue or volume and so on. He has given citation, he has referred that particular text, but it was fake. And when we go through that reference, then the 404 error comes. So the question arises how to avoid this plagiarism. So there are so many practices to avoid plagiarism. It is not all scary, or avoiding plagiarism is actually easy to do. Just we have to know, understand what we have to do while while writing a research paper. So there are some tips to write to avoid this plagiarism. That is, first, cite the source. When you referring an idea or word of anyone else, then you have to give citation. You have to give reference. Include quotations. If you insert a source word into your writing, one of the most simple way to avoid plagiarism is by using quotation mark around the text to denote that the words are not your own, and a direct quote should also cite the source so that reader know who has the author of that quote. Then paraphrase is again very important to avoid plagiarism. Then present your own idea. Instead of copying or parroting the ideas or words of others, explore what you have to say about it. Ask yourself, what are the unique perspective or the points you can contribute in your own writing? That's entirely your own. So try to write in your own word, explore the idea or understand what is the concept in your research. Then you have to write it in your own word. So if you are using your own idea or concept from your own research paper, then it will it will become a very good research paper. Then use plagiarism checker. When in doubt, then you can use online plagiarism tool, which can help you to catch these issues before submitting your research work. After completing your writing work on research, then you have to go through online plagiarism checker so that you come to know whatever or how much portion you have plagiarized. Okay, so there are certain tools to check the plagiarism. There are so many free online plagiarism checkers like duplicate checkers, copy leaks, paper retter, plagiarisma, plagiarism checker, and so many online tools are there which are no need to pay any fees, or some are some plagiarism if we are using, then they are talking about the fees or they are asking about some um, charges. So if you want to buy that software of checking plagiarism, then you can buy, or otherwise there are some free softwares also, so you can use it online. So these are about the checking plagiarism. These are the references. Again, there are so many things to talk to cover under this topic, but because of short duration of time, not able to cover all the things. But definitely, if I got the chance in future, then I will cover all the topics. Okay, thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk on this, to be a part of this workshop. I would like to thank Dr. Prerna Modak and Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for giving useful information on research ethics. Now the session is open for discussion. Any question from students will ask me, madam.
Yes, if anyone want to ask something, then they can ask the question, or my email ID or phone number is there, so that they can ask me after that session also.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ashish Shinde sir for vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who work really hard to make this event possible. I, Mr. Ashish Uddhav Shende, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, on behalf of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, and the entire fraternity of this institution, extended my sincere thanks to Dr. Sangeeta Itankar Madam, who spared time from her busy schedule to grace this occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely encourage us in all our future endeavors. Your thoughts have enlightened our mind, and we have show us a new path. Extended my sincere thanks to our respected principal, Dr. A. Chandramuli sir, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best. Last but not least, a big thank you to each one of you who made this workshop memorable. And we thank you for being with us. It has remained a a pronounced pleasure. Thank you everyone. Now I would like to invite uh, Dr. Prerna Modak Madam for taking a charge next session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. To improve the golden moments of opportunity and catch the good that is in our reach is the great art of life. A very warm good morning, Principal Sir, President of this valedictory function, invited guests, professors, students, and ladies and gentlemen. I am Prerna Modak, Department of Physics, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, District Chandrapur. It is a matter of immense pride to be here before all of you this morning. On behalf of the institution, we are delighted to offer a graceful welcome to all of you. A pessimist complains about the wind, an optimist tries to change it, and a leader adjusts the sails. The sails for this particular notion were adjusted by a person who is not only a great motivation to all of us, but a visionary and the person who gave us the belief to bring together this event. This is none other than our beloved principle. The fragrance of flowers spread only in the direction of wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all directions. These are the few words for our chief guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have with us Dr. N.S. Kokode sir as the honorable chief guest of this valedictory ceremony. Now I request Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh sir for a brief summary of one-week research methodology workshop. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to Galaxy of Intellectuals, invited guests, participants, professors, and dear students. I am very much delighted to share brief summary of this one-week National Research Methodology workshop. From last 5 days, we had a great time with you, and I am very much thankful to all participants and students for joining with us. Over the past 5 days, we had a galaxy of experts. The workshop was inaugurated on 28th February 2020 on the occasion of National Science Day And this was inaugurated by the respected Dr. S.B. Revatkar Sir, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. I am very much thankful to Sir for his presence and being the inspiration for organizing this workshop. Our principal, Dr. Chandramouli Sir, was the chairperson for this function. Thank you, sir, for inspiring us and for providing all the necessary facility during this workshop. After the inaugural function, first session was taken by Dr. Mani R from Vidya Vardhaka, Mysore, on the topic Introduction to Research Methodology, which she led emphasis on the steps of research and how to follow them in a systematic manner. The second day of workshop was started by eminent personality Dr. Thamidala Christopher, Dean, Research and Faculty Development, Chaitanya Deemed University, Warangal. And Sir delivered a very nice lecture on interdisciplinary research in the field of biotechnology. On same day, next session was taken by Dr. B.K. Magre, Professor, Department of Chemistry, Shivaji Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kannad District, Aurangabad. And Sir delivered a very informative talk on how to write research proposals and dissertation. First session of the third day of this workshop was started by the young and dynamic Dr. Atul Nagpure, Assistant Professor, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi College, Nagpur. Sir delivered a lecture on the topic how to start new research work and also told about do's and don'ts in the research. In second session, Dr. S. Lavanya from Department of Mathematics, Bharati Women's College, Chennai, presented a wonderful lecture on essential skills for research and which surely helps researchers and peers. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. Fourth day of this workshop was started by the Dr. Amardeep Shende, Assistant Professor, Dr. Shantilal Devse College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Wada District, Palghar. He delivered a activity-based lecture on research methodology for beginners. In second session, Dr. Rakesh Kumar Parmar, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Mathematics, Makhanalal Chaturvedi Girls PG College, Khandwa, explains the new research tools available for the researchers and the students. In first session of fifth day, we had Dr. Atish Mehetre, Department of Chemistry, Shivaji Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kannad District, Aurangabad, and he delivered a fruitful lecture on review of literature. In second session, Mr. Pankaj Modak delivered a talk on data collection and validation. Thank you, Maitre sir and Modak sir, for sharing your thoughts during these sessions. On the last day of this workshop, Dr. Sangeeta Itankar ma'am, Department of Applied Science, delivered a talk on research ethics and plagiarism. Thank you, ma'am, for your informative talk. So, on behalf of the organizing committee members, I am very much thankful to all the resource persons for accepting the invitation and delivering informative talk on various topics related to the research methodology. And I am very much sure that all the participants and students will get benefited from this workshop. Thank you all once again. With this, I will stop here and now I hand over the charge to Dr. Prerna Modak ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Dear all, nothing great will be achieved without great men. And men are only great if they are determined to do so. These lines are truly proved by our today's guest. Sir has around 36 years of teaching and administrative experience, and a very vast research experience of publishing around 156 national and international research papers. 5 international papers presented and 1 UGC research fellowship he had. Sir has guided in all 9 PhD students. In 2010, Sir received an Ideal Principal Award by Nagpur University and the Best Principal Award by Gondwana University in 2017. Sir is associated with various international and national professional bodies. Sir have been collaborated with and linked with various prestigious institutions in the field of higher education and research. Sir worked as a director, BCUD, from the foundation of Gondwana University. He worked as Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology in Gondwana University. Sir worked in almost all the statutory bodies and important committees of Gondwana and RTM Nagpur University. It's really our pleasure to have Dr. Ines Kokode sir with us. Sir, I would like you to address our participants on this occasion.
Thank you, Mora. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Gaddamwar, the founder of this education society, the president of this society, Sandeep Bhau Gaddamwar, Honorable Secretary Sangidwar ji, the principal of the college, the popular principal of the college, my friend, my colleague, Dr. Chandramouli, the convener of the workshop, Dr. Prerna Modak, the head of the Department of Physics, and her colleague, Dr. Shende, all the faculty members, research scholars, and my dear students. At the outset, I congratulate the Department of Physics, the Faculty of Science, and Dr. Prerna Modak and her team, and particularly Dr. Chandramouli sir, principal, that we have organized such a very nice and that too 1 week workshop on the very recent topic, the very important topic which is required for the research student, a research scholar. And therefore, first of all, I congratulate the Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi College, Savli, for organizing the very recent topic, that is the research methodology for the research scholars and the students who are eagerly waiting for research in their career. Now, I came to know from the brief that is the given that it was inaugurated on the National Science Day. After Dr. C.V. Raman sir, the Nobel laureate from the India, who did his research in Calcutta in a very, very simple apparatus, which cost only 150 rupees in those days. And it is put in the Congress Science Bhavan in Kolkata even today. I was very fortunate to see, and I have handled that apparatus. And it was great respect for me. It is great honor for me that the apparatus handled by Dr. C.V. Raman, I could have touched it. And I am very fortunate enough that he was the only scientist in India who did his research and got the Nobel Prize. Many of the Indian scientists got the Nobel Prize, but they have done their research in the foreign countries. But Dr. C.V. Raman sir was the only pioneer who did research in India, and therefore the government of India, after Dr. C.V. Raman, declared that the 28th February as a National Science Day. So you have inaugurated the research methodology workshop on the 28th February, that is on the eve of National Science Day. And therefore it was a great jealous and joy for the science fraternity to observe the National Science Day. Research methodology, coming to the research methodology, this is now a very compulsory topic for the research scholar. They have to complete it because there are the 4 papers, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 and paper 4. There will be the mark list prepared by the university at the end of the research. And the first paper is the research methodology. First and second paper, it is evaluated. It is done by the university. But paper 3 and paper 4, which we have to do at the research center, where the research scholar has to publish at least 2 research papers in the UGC care journals, mandatory now. And the 2 national workshop or the conference or seminars. So he has to attend, he has to participate. And thirdly, he has to present 2 research papers in such national conferences or the international conferences. See, attending and participation is one thing, and secondly, presentation of the research papers. Your own research papers you will present in the national or international workshop. These are the UGC guidelines, and one has to do that. So unless and until it is done, your thesis will not be accepted. And therefore, my dear colleagues, my dear research scholars, it is my appeal. You have to go through very carefully to the direction of the university. What are the requirements or the direction of the University Grants Commission while doing the research, and you should follow each and everything what is written in the guidelines. Otherwise, you will complete the research, and when you are going to submit your PhD thesis, at that time, you are not fulfilling the other conditions, and therefore your thesis will not be accepted by the university. And therefore, it is my suggestion to all of you that you go to the directions of the university. Recently, there was a committee constituted in the Gondwana University. I was the chairman of that committee, and we have framed the 60-page direction, 60 pages of the direction, where starting from the PET examination to till the viva examination of your PhD thesis, all the formats, all the rules, all the guidelines, it has been collected and framed there to make one direction of the Gondwana University. Now it will be simple. Whenever you will be registered, you will get a booklet from the university, and you will came to know what you have to do, the other things also apart from your research, academic research. And therefore, that direction is yet to come, but it will come in 1 or 2 months after passing through the academic council. So what I am saying, these things are very mandatory. And you have also, it has been taught to you, or it has been said to you, that plagiarism is playing a very important role in your research. UGC, according to the UGC notification, they say that plagiarism should not be about 10%. About 10%. This is, and one has to adhere to the rules and regulations of the University Grants Commission. Otherwise, somebody will complain that Gondwana University's research is below the standard of the UGC. They are not following the UGC norms. And therefore, the research scholar has to be very careful that there should not be the copy and paste from the other thesis, but we should write our results, observation, conclusions, discussions by our own language, own findings. We should report it so that whatever the software of the plagiarism is there, it will not go beyond the 10%. So we are also in that direction. It is mentioned that the plagiarism should be 10%, but we have restricted the topics, the chapters. Only the chapter 3, 4, 5, 6. That is where you report your observations, results, discussions, conclusions. This part only will be checked. Introduction and research, experimental work, the methodology, what you write in the second chapter, it will not be tested by the plagiarism. We have mentioned in Gondwana University particularly that while checking the plagiarism, only the results, observations, calculations, discussions, and conclusions, all this will be tested by the plagiarism, and it should be below 10%. These are the new things are coming. Up till now, there was a 30%, that is the upper limit of the plagiarism in Gondwana University. But there they were checking the chapter 1, chapter 2, and all our results, discussion, and conclusions. So we are avoiding these two chapters where generally in introduction, the many references, many things, many findings, we repeat it, and therefore your plagiarism level that is goes up. So we have avoided the chapter 1 and the experimental method. Generally, the students of same guide, they are using the same experimental facilities, and therefore generally the second chapter experimental method remains the same, and therefore that also adds to the plagiarism level. So we have avoided the chapter 1 and chapter 2. Only we are counting the plagiarism from the observation, results, discussion, findings, conclusion. So there you should restrict to the 10%. So these are the very good things are coming up. If the plagiarism is below about 10%, then you have to again remodify your thesis. You have to pay to the university the 2,000 rupees for the checking again the plagiarism. And after that, if it is below 10%, then it will be accepted. Otherwise, it will be rejected. And only 2 chances are given to adjust your plagiarism. So all the research scholars, the teachers, the guides, supervisors, and the PG students should note that from the UGC point of view, because of the national policy, because of the policy of the science fraternity, the plagiarism is playing a very important role. We should now be careful for that. Another thing that now how the admissions to the research scholar, it is done, it is on the result of the PATE examination. There is a PATE syllabus and PATE examination, PhD, pre-PhD, that is the examination is conducted by the university as per the directions of the UGC. But there is a recent one notification from the University Grants Commission that only those will be admitted to the PhD program who pass only NET examination or SET examination. Sometimes, and they say, UGC say that this rule will be implemented from the year of 2023. So from the 2023, only NET or SET students maybe get the opportunity to do the research because UGC has declared the notification. And therefore, my dear students, all the PG students, all the research scholars, all the students who pass the PATE examination, I will advise them immediately go for the registration. You are having only 6 months time or only the few months time is left for you. Probably there may be a universal rule in India that only those candidates who pass the only NET examination, UG says only the NET examination, but there may be a dilution sometimes, and may the SET examination passers will also get the opportunity. But this rule are coming from the 2023, and therefore all those who pass the PATE examination, or you request to the university to conduct the PATE examination again, second time in a year, so that you will be registered for the PhD program. Otherwise, you have to first clear the NET examination and then come to the research. So these are the things. The very good, very nice. We have taken a lot of hard work to compile that direction of the Gondwana University, 60 page, that is the direction. And we have taken into account the problems and difficulties of the Gondwana University, the problems and difficulties of the students and the teachers. And somewhere we have given the green signal, or the, you can say, the some points towards the teachers and the students. We have favored the teachers and the students and made that direction. So now, therefore, I say that research is now a very, you can say, the important, that is the entity, because from the 2023 also, the appointment of the assistant professor in the universities are on the PhD basis. PhD is the mandatory to be get appointed in university, not in colleges. In colleges, there will be the NET or SET, they will be eligible. But in university, maybe the candidate NET or SET, but the PhD is mandatory for the appointment as an assistant professor from the year 2023. Okay, and therefore, the recruitment only will get in the university if you are the PhD. So PhD research is a very good thing, and so many things are there. I delighted to know that the factors like the UGC listed journals, the referred journal, the citation index, the scopus, all this have been index, the I index, all these parameters of the research publication might be discussed in this workshop. And therefore, really, I am delighted and happy to congratulate the MG College of Science, Savli, RMG College of Science, Savli, and Dr. Chandramouli, and particularly to the Dr. Prerna Modak, the young teacher who is doing a lot of things for the Savli College. So I congratulate her team for conducting such nice workshop. My best wishes to all the research scholars, all the faculty members, and the intellectuals, galaxy of the peoples who have gathered for this research workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Over to Prerna.
Thank you for lightening the memories of. Thank you, sir. Thank you for lightening the memories of Sir C.V. Raman and need of research methodology workshop in the field of research. Thank you very much, sir, for the detailed idea of how to register for PhD up to from the registration to the submission of the thesis. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request our principal, sir, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi College, Savli, president of this valedictory function, to address the participants. Over to you, sir.
First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries, chief guests, and participants who is listening this program on internet. Particularly, I would like to say my sincere thanks to Dr. Kokode sir. Despite a busy schedule, he spared time and he has delivered an intellectual lecture and enlightened our students. And I would like also say a few words regarding our institution. It is located in a remote taluka place. Despite of taluka place, our entire faculty members of the college taking their pains to give a quality education. We are providing undergraduate courses like BA, BCom, BSc. We are also running PG courses we have 8 PG courses. That is in MSc, we have chemistry, physics, botany, zoology. In MA, we have MA Marathi, MA History, MA Political Science. We also have MCom. So, keeping in this PG students, we dare to organize a 1-week research methodology to give the detail. Sir, may I able? Yeah. So to give the detailed blueprint of research methodology, because while what you say conducting dissertation or going for research articles or submitting research thesis at university level, so many research are facing so many problems. So keeping these research scholars problems in mind, our college come up with a one week national workshop on research methodology. So it has been started on 25th on the auspicious occasion of National Science Day. So from 25th to till today, we have a galaxy of more than 15 resource persons who have delivered their lectures around the research methodology, what are the steps to be undertaken by new beginners, and what is the plagiarism, and what are the rules and regulations to be a successful researcher. And also our whole team, the department of chemistry, the department of physics have taken a lot of efforts to make this event successful. Before starting the event also, our IQAC coordinator and the whole IQAC members, they have gathered and they have collected a lot of information by which through we should go. So without any preparation, without any practice, or without any pre-planning, no single program makes success. So keeping these points, I'd like to appreciate the efforts taken by our team to make this event successful, and the technical glitches sometimes creeped in despite of so many efforts due to that what you say the network problem, because our area is located in a small town. So we have two internet networks, that is the fiber network as well as railway network. Even we also having geo network, but three networks are not properly working here. So even though we trying our level best to give the best speeches, and I would like to say a few words that this national workshop is one of the first workshop which is organized by our Gonda University for a duration of weekdays. Actually, it is very useful to research scholars as well as those who are intended to undertake research work. So I don't want to take much of time. With these few words, I would like to wind up my presidential speech and hand over to Dr. Prerna Modak. Thank you to one and all. Hand over to Dr. Prerna Modak, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Your inspiration and motivation make us to dare to do such programs, and I hope we'll surely look forward for such more programs. Thank you, sir. I'm sure that you all had 6 days of very productive discussions given by the very distinguished list of speakers. On the behalf of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, I would like to express sincere appreciation and gratitude to all the presenters, discussants, and the participants for their active and frank discussions, which I think have made the workshop very fruitful. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Every celebration is an experience. The external fades away and the internal lingers and echoes in the most depth of our hearts. We are reminded that events like this one are milestone on the journey of life and reminders of God's fidelity all through. As we come to the close of our valedictory ceremony, I invite Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh to profess the vote of thanks. Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh, sir, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, a very good morning, one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks for this event. The end of a story is the new beginning for many others. On this note, let's conclude remarkable and knowledgeable valedictory session. On behalf of Department of Chemistry, Department of Physics and IQAC cell of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, I express my sincere thanks to Dr. N.S. Kokode sir for accepting our invitation and explaining the need of research methodology workshop for the PhD students as well as for PG students, and for having good words on this occasion. I am thankful to our principal, Dr. Chandramouli sir, for inspiring us to organizing this workshop and for kind support to make this event success. I am thankful to our chief patrons, Sri Sandeep Bhau Gaddamwar, President, Bharat Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Savli, and Mr. Rajabha Patil Sangidwarji, Secretary, Bharat Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Savli, for kind support and for providing necessary facility to conduct this workshop. I am thankful to convener Dr. Prerna Modak ma'am, co-convener Dr. Rajeshri Markandewar, Dr. Ragini Patil, Mr. Mukesh Nikhade, and Mr. Ashish Sende sir for kind support during this event. I am also thankful to all my colleagues and non-teaching staff. And last but not least, I am thankful to all the resource persons, participants, researchers, and students for being with us. Thank you, one and all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kokode, sir.
Dear all participants, we are going to stop over here with our 1-week research methodology workshop, and all the participants will get the certificate on their email IDs. For that, they require to fill the feedback form and they'll receive the certificate. Thank you for being the part of this, and with the permission of our president of the valedictory function, I would like to stop here. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.